Oh, I love my coffee. It's great. So this one's going to be up on the YouTube channel as well. Share this with my Facebook friends too. Um, so anyway, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about Sirius Satellite Radio today. Those of you that know, I have a 2003 Ford Taurus with the digital heat and air controls. So I wanted to upgrade my stereo last year, which I did, and went to local stereo shop and had them put an aftermarket Kenwood. I think it's a 200 watt, head unit in there, and that had satellite radio capability. And then we put the Sirius gear in it. And by the time all was said and done with installation and everything, and getting the Sirius activated, I was probably out of pocket close to $600, which, really wasn't all that bad, but, it's a nice chunk of change. So, a little bit about my commute to work. It's about 25 minutes one way, and I would go to, turn it on, go to the Decades channels, because I had their mostly music package, which was their most basic package. I liked Howard Stern 20 years ago. I thought he was a pretty funny guy. Sports, I really have no interest in sports. I think they've pumped too much money into sports today. It's too much money in politics and sports today, so I really have no interest in it anymore. Except for like drag racing, quarter-mile racing, that kind of stuff, because no matter how much money they throw at that, it's still, the car being powerful enough, you tune a car, you do whatever you got to do, and it's not always about money, it's sometimes about tuning and who you're, having a good tuner and that stuff, so on and so forth. So anyway, back to the satellite radio. I had to renew my subscription by tomorrow or cancel by today. And I opened up the little envelope that came about 3 weeks ago, and I was looking at the price, and like, wow, it cost me like about $600 to get all that gear put in my car. And then now, they want another $157 and some change for their most basic package to renew for another year. And that, to me, for the little bit of time that I used it, just did not seem like it was worth it. So I would listen to the Decades channels because I was always very close with my sister growing up. So I liked the music of the 80s that was out when we were kids, and she was a teenager. I was a kid, she was a teenager at the time. When grunge came out, I got into classic rock and started listening to the stuff from the 50s and 60s and 70s. So I like classic rock, I like oldies, 80s, and very, very early into the 90s. As far as what I like, I also like the hair band channel. But it just happened to be that they were playing a lot of stuff that, just I hear on FM radio when I'm at work 8 hours a day. And it's just, the stuff that's overplayed. Prince, David Bowie, the same Pink Floyd songs over and over and over again. And I want to hear stuff like this. I got this 30th anniversary collection. I want to hear some, Looking for Love. I want to hear deep cut tracks that were not on the U.S. version of that Whitesnake album that you don't hear. I want to hear cuts from the 80s that they don't play anymore. Stuff from the early 90s that they don't play anymore. It just, again, it seems like it's the tight and narrow playlist that FM radio does. And if you guys don't believe me, a lot of these radio stations, now I'm in the South Jersey area, so, we get the South Jersey, Philadelphia stations. A lot of them are owned by the same companies. You go and you look at their playlists because they put their playlist histories on the websites. And it's the same stuff over and over and over again. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm a guy of very good intelligence. I routinely test my IQ and test between 130 and 140 all the time. So I think I'm pretty darn smart. And to me, it just doesn't make sense to to be forking out that kind of money, to be paying money to hear the same artist over and over again, when I could do that for free with FM radio. So I made the phone call, said let me call and cancel it. And of course you get this guy on the radio, get this guy on the phone. And I don't know what it is, but for some strange reason, you know, they always have to have a very poor reception, so you can hardly understand them, excuse me. You can hardly understand them when you get them on the phone. And then they put this guy on the phone. Oh, thank you for calling this service. I see your address as 726, blah, 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 blah. You know, nothing personal, but can we have somebody that can speak clearly, that I can understand? You know, I like people of all shapes, sizes, and colors. I get along with everybody. But I have to be able to understand you, and I speak the English language fluently. So nothing against anybody with that, but it seems like there's always somebody that I can't understand. And every time you call these places, the phone reception is horrible. Now, I'm a computer guy. I know most of these places are using voice over IP. Why do these places have such piss poor reception when you call them? I don't care if it's the cable company. I don't care if it's the phone company. I don't care who it is. Okay? I just don't get why every time you call them or you have to speak to their customer service department. Got to go through that. I went through that when I bought my own DOCSIS 3 cable modem, because I got tired of paying my cable company $11 a month for a stupid modem. Well, I can go out and buy some bitch for myself in the store and hook it up and save money. You know. And then I did some other stuff to get rid of the boxes. You know, bought some Rokus and got rid of 2 of my boxes. So now I don't pay an outrageously high cable bill every month. So to me, they've got to get a little bit better with customer service. I've been in customer service for most of my adult life. I was in management at an auto repair shop for a little while. I got out of it because it got a little bit frustrating dealing with millennials that wanted to show up at work late, that didn't know how to wear their work uniforms to work, so then they had to waste more time to get their work clothes on and get out in the shop and get working. I just got tired of being responsible for kids, irresponsible kids. So, but anyhow, I'll quit my rambling there. But I have a major, a lot of customer service in my background. And I just feel as though these companies have got to get a little bit better with their customer service. Stop trying to sell me stuff. It's like the tellers when you go into a bank, always trying to sell a credit card. And in that industry, I've talked about it before. I know what Dodd-Frank did to that industry. Okay? But I don't need somebody trying to sell me a credit card every time I walk into a damn bank. That's why I hate my bank that I deal with. At least they leave me alone at the other bank where I go to make my mortgage payment. They're real nice people to me there. But it's like that in that industry. And in the satellite radio industry. Oh, can I get you to buy this? Can I get you to get that? Can I get you to get this, that, and the other? Enough. My answer is no. N-O. What part of that don't you get? If you're nice to me and listen to what I'm saying, and I decide I ever want to come back, I'll mention your name. So you get the credit. If they give you a bonus, you get a bonus. Whatever, however that works, however the company you work for works. But I really wish that these companies would get a little bit better and stop with the hard sell. Stop with the nagging. Stop with the nitpicking. So anyhow, long story short, that was my experience with dealing with Sirius Satellite Radio and canceling my subscription. Should I decide to to turn it back on again, I'll give them a call. But it's going to have to be, they're going to have to get their channels playing better stuff. I don't want to hear Prince and David Bowie every single day, 50 times a day. You know, there are other artists out there besides artists that are dead and artists that are from Great Britain. Okay? Perfect example. These guys are from Canada. They're good. You know? I can give you some other stuff. Here's another one right here. Let me get another one. These guys are from Chicago. Okay? Excuse me. I could sit here and go through my collection all day, but I think you guys get the message, and I think you know what I'm trying to say. Play what I want to hear. Provide me the service I want, and I'll have no problem spending the money on it. So, at that rate, I'm going to call this one done. Y'all have a goody-goody, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.